Hi, welcome to Arkansas Post.
The history of Arkansas Post can trace its origins back to the late 1600s, when the French first established a fur trading stand along the Arkansas River. Later, Spain would take control, and there was actually a small battle fought here during the American Revolution. In 1800, France regains the area and sells the territory to the United States in the Louisiana Purchase. By 1810, the population of what is now called Arkansas Post is about 500. Slowly, the farming economy is taking hold when the small community is named capital of the new Arkansas Territory. Unfortunately, because of location, the capital is soon moved to Little Rock in 1821. For the next 40 years, time seems to pass by Arkansas Post as the population dwindles. People seem to forget about it. That is until 1862, when Confederate leaders decide to locate a fort there to stop Union forces from threatening Little Rock. On September 28, 1862, Major General Theophilus Holmes ordered a fort to be built near the mouth of the Arkansas River at Arkansas Post. Lieutenant John William Dunnington, hero of St. Charles, was placed in charge to build it. By late November, the fort was completed and named Fort Heineman. Dunnington was promoted to colonel in the Army and would take charge of the heavy guns taken off his ship. The fort itself was a square, strongly enforced earthwork, surrounded by a ditch, 20 feet wide and 8 feet deep. Trenches came out from it for the infantry. In December, their garrison was increased to about 5,000 men. They were joined by their new commander, Brigadier General Thomas James Churchill. With his arrival, the Confederates were ready. They would not have long to wait, though. Major General John A. McClernand, an ambitious and well-connected officer, arrived at Milkins Bend, Louisiana on January 4, 1863. Assuming command of two Army Corps, he decided to attack Fort Heineman as a way to eliminate any enemy from behind. After meeting with Admiral David D. Porter, the Union force, consisting of 32,000 infantry, 1,000 cavalry, and more than 40 pieces of artillery, loaded aboard transports and headed north. This would be a very one-sided fight. At 5 p.m. on the 9th of January, Northern soldiers began unloading on the left bank of the Arkansas River, about 3 miles below the fort. By noon of the 10th, the entire Union force was on shore and ready. Late in the day, naval forces bombarded the fort. Confederate defenders realized the position they were in. During the night, General Churchill received a message from Holmes: hold out till help arrived or until all dead. On January 11, 1863, the battle for Fort Heiman and Arkansas Post would take place. Union plans called for the Navy under Admiral Porter to attack and silence the guns of the fort first. Then an all-out infantry assault would follow. After a continuous fire of almost 3 hours, Fort Heiman was silenced and the infantry advanced. General William Tecumseh Sherman, leading one of the corps, described the scene. By 3 p.m., our lines were within 100 yards of the enemy trenches, outflanking him, and our right completely enveloping his position. All the artillery fire from the fort had ceased, and only occasionally could be seen a few of the enemy's infantry firing from its parapets. But the strongest resistance continued in our immediate front, where the enemy's infantry was massed. Suddenly, as the two lines neared and General Churchill prepared for the end with gritted determination, white flags began to appear along the Confederate entrenchments. Apparently, some rebel soldiers didn't share the sentiment of Churchill and his officers. They decided to surrender. Before he could stop this from happening, the entire rebel force gave up to the now joyous Federal Army. Colonel Dunnington, unwilling to surrender to the Army, tendered his sword to Admiral Porter. This Union victory had been won at a cost, though. Final reports list 134 killed, 898 wounded, and 29 captured or missing on the Union side. Porter listed 30 killed or wounded in the Navy. Confederate casualties were 60 killed, 75 to 80 wounded, and 4,793 taken prisoner. Although the Battle of Fort Heiman was only a sideshow, it was part of the Vicksburg campaign. General U.S. Grant would soon arrive and take command of all Union forces. General McClernand would be reduced to corps command and eventually be gotten rid of. General Churchill would serve 3 months as prisoner of war before returning to the Trans-Mississippi. Dunnington, after spending 5 months in prison, returned to the CS Navy to end the war. Not much is left for Fort Heiman today. The river has taken much of it back. You can visit some of the Confederate trenches that were constructed just outside the fort. There's even a cannon here and there defending some lost position. There's a wonderful visitor center at Arkansas Post National Memorial with exhibits from the area's history. Then there's Arkansas Post State Park with the cabin and exhibits that tell the story of Arkansas's first capital. Although these parks are a little out of the way, it is truly worth the drive to check out this little piece of the Arkansas Delta. Special thanks to the staff at the Arkansas Post National Memorial and also to the Arkansas Post Museum State Park to work in conjunction with the DCC.